Okay. So today's November the 11th, 2024. Once again, it's November the 11th, 2024. Yesterday, I did, write on. I wrote a work paper, and I published it with respect to crypto and digital currency, protocols and the prepared policy points of the Central Intelligence Agency and Interpol protocol on that particular issue. So not just what is domestic and what has already been decided as foundational here in the United States, but also what has been preached throughout the planet, which has been invested heavily, which has now been invested heavily in crypto and digital currency and so forth. But today I'm going to write another work paper. I'm going to author another work paper, and I'm going to publish it later today, tonight, or early tomorrow. But I'm certainly going to start writing it today and hopefully finish it up today. And it's going to be on financial competence, and it's going to address, not just consider, it's going to address, pointedly, domestic and international, domestic and international banking, economic movement, free movement, and economic movement of capital, trade items, and partnership concepts, and corporation directives and projects, and corporation exchanges and so forth. It's going to be a whole new world. So it's not just going to be the free movement of goods and capital and people and so forth, not just what is fundamental to integration, economic, political, and social integration, but it also has to do with what is even more advanced, and I just detailed that. How would you say that? Macro expressly, I just detailed that macro expressly. So some of the micro details I'm going to provide over the next few months or so on financial competence and international banking and domestic advancement in banking and charitable endowment and Commonwealth of Nations systematization with the United Nations and becoming a fundamental organ of the United Nations as world government. So I should be able to expound on these particular issues, and what I provide, like I have done over the past few years, will be additional and more astute micro details on a particular topic, on a particular subject matter, and so on. So that's what I'm going to focus on. Today on financial competence, and I'm still going to touch bases on political development, or world governance when it comes to world government, and when it comes to corporate support of the system being protected by the world government, meaning democracy, and meaning free market principles, and meaning economic and political integration. All right. So I promise you, I am not the one who's failing whatsoever. The tests that you guys have, those are not tests. Those have been debunked. You guys have failed. I have earned the privileges that I have explained, and you guys haven't earned it, and you guys will never be able to earn it. I've explained why, but you guys have failed, so demonstrably there's no point in me going further on that. All right, what I've just explained to you guys, that's part of the larger package of my political, economic, and social philosophy that having to do with integration and that having to do with world government, and also corporate ethics and its participation within world governance, meaning public and private sector in regulating not only government but also the industries and civil society and so forth. So that's why I said world governance. World governance can, it can reference world government, political organization. But but world governance essentially allows engaging and addressing public sector and the private sector, meaning the multi-public sector and the multi-public sector and the private sector and the global private sectors per se. And yes, I did come up with the term multi-public. In all honesty, I did come up with the term multi-public. At Howard University, hold on. So yeah. So I did. Yeah, so I did come up with the term multi-public. No one else came up with that term, in all honesty. It has been used in the past before, but the way I've used it is, regarding what is the integration of governments, national governments primarily. When speaking of supranationalism, I came up with that term, that specific variation of the term. So yeah, and that's clear as day. I'm pretty sure that's clear as day. So once again, I came up with the term multi-public. Everything that I've written, I genuinely came up with myself, and what is common knowledge, that's clearly articulated as common knowledge. I don't want you guys believing anything crazy whatsoever, and I keep saying that. I need you guys to respect me, and if you guys cannot respect me, the Central Intelligence Agency are going to show you guys. And it's the right thing to respect a person's intellectual property, his privacy, his ability to be able to be compensated and to be enriched by the output of his respective work, whether it's intellectual property or whether it's standard wage or standard contribution, this and this and that. All right, so yeah. I had to say that. But yeah, multi-public refers to what is of the integrated government, constituting the consolidation of national governments primarily in governing a particular supranational jurisdiction and its respective institution, designed to host and harness that respective governance of people, public office, civil society, and the industries and interaction and agendas naturally or scientifically devised from that composition of society. So that's honestly how that works. But yeah, so don't be confused by what I mean by that. Okay, guys? So I've worked very hard to be able to pull off having worked that hard and being that disciplined and not losing my mind and having to reveal stuff in my private blog, which is a bit more personal. I do have my professional information. I do have professional works published on my private blogs, but at the same time I do provide stuff which are a bit more personal, which are a bit more internal when it comes to the Central Intelligence Agency culture, that having to do with Freemasonry and interaction with civilizations that we cannot, civilizations which are just not, conventionally understood and so forth, historical civilizations and that which are beyond common knowledge and so forth. And so I don't lie about that. And it's up to you to believe it or not, but that's part of the secrets of Freemasonry, provide stuff that makes perfect sense when it comes to physics, when it comes to the reality that God is real, as I have shown you guys, and so forth. You don't want to believe that we just magically appeared out of nowhere and things just went from nothing to something without any sort of articulated force. Initiated it and guided it. You don't want to believe that things just went from disorder, if there was ever disorder, to order. There's clearly a force, telling you guys directly, as I am doing now, as I am that, how things work, and so on. And that's on me, that's just me. All right, so yeah, we don't want to go from order to disorder. Once again, we don't want to go from order to disorder whatsoever. Everything has to go from disorder to order. And what appears to be an interruption of what we consider progressive advancement has to be, somehow, not semantically, but somehow ethically and humanistically superior to what came before, toward, preparing for what comes after, which is going to be both, ethically, humanistically, and superficially more progressive than what came before. All right, guys? But anyway, you have a nice day. I'm going to start up this work paper, and hopefully I'll get it done today and publish it, at least on one of my venues, on one of my internet venues, later today or tonight, and at worst tomorrow. All right?